You look at some of the solutions that are given to parents with problems and you realize they really lack a lot of detail and nuance. My child does this, do that. My child does not do this, okay, do that. A parent who is positive, who is proactive, is one who will look at the underlying causes of this negative behavior, because they realize that negative behaviors are usually expressions of something deeper at play. So take a child, for example, who is angry or violent or abusive or foul in their talk. The average parent will deal with these issues individually in isolation as symptoms, but they will not get to the root of why they are behaving like that. And so what ends up happening, because you are dealing with the symptom, the child just channels this problem into a different manifestation because you haven't dealt with the root issue. I'll give you an example to make it clear. A child who has problems with rage, anger, always full of fury. And so they go and they hit their siblings. What is the problem here? Is it the hitting of the siblings or is it the rage? Which one is it? Which one is causing the other? It's the rage that is causing the hitting. So if I go and I treat the hitting and I stop him from hitting, and yes, sometimes intervention is needed, but I restrain him without dealing with the underlying issue, he will just channel that rage down a different path. It won't take the form of hitting something else, depending on whether his or her personality is strong or weak. If their personality is strong, they're just going to hit something else, even if it's just a wall. If the personality of the child is weak, that rage has to take a different path, so it goes down the idea of nail biting. Some kids, they do this, or they start stammering in their speech, they start stuttering, or they pull out their hair, or they relieve themselves on themselves. What is this? That's just the rage that you have suppressed, but it's now finding a different channel to express itself in, because the underlying cause was not dealt with. So al-murabbi al-ijabi, the positive parent, is he or she who tries to not deal merely with the symptoms, but they look at the underlying causes to see why my child is behaving like this. Doctors, they do this all of the time. A patient may come to a doctor, local GP, and say, "Doctor, I have pain in the nape of my neck. I have tightness in my chest. I am struggling to breathe sometimes. I have lower back pains, and I have gastroenterological issues." The doctor could give you a medication for each one of those symptoms in isolation. Or he may look at the underlying cause of these pains, and he says, "These are signs that you are stressed. Maybe you are overworked. So I suggest you minimize your working hours. I suggest you spend 30 minutes a day walking in the park. And I suggest you spend some more time with family." That way, in some cases, less medication is required because you have dealt with the underlying cause as opposed to treating these symptoms in isolation.